Uh, I know the eye twitch gave it away, didn't it? Oh, well, shit happens. It's been happening less lately, thank goodness, but I'll be happy on the day it stops doing it all together. All right, good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday. Oh, a lot of weird shit going on in the world, of course. People being fired left and right for things they've said online that come back to their bosses. They say that's why I'm exceptionally careful because I don't make really any money off YouTube. Okay, like I said, if I really wanted to build this, I'd have done it years ago. I mainly do this, just it's my little way of giving back to the fandom. Like I said, it was never like I said. Sure, it makes like $100 every so often. Like I actually had a bunch of people ask, "Why don't you get a Patreon?" I'm like, "What am I going to put on the Patreon that I don't put on here?" Because one thing also I can't stand about YouTube, I have so many golden memberships or blah blah. Like it should be happy enough that people subscribe to your channel. Now they have to pay money to see shit. And that's what's kind of sad about YouTube. Like YouTube isn't making God knows how many billions of dollars off ad revenue. And the content creators, there's a lot of them out there who are now millionaires based off ad revenue. And it's like, these are the first ones going to go screaming if an EMP hits and wipes out all the servers. Because there goes your paycheck. But well. Yeah, no Emmy wins for Doctor Who. I saw that. I'm like, I don't know. Like I said, I just don't feel right talking about Doctor Who right now because the only thing we got going is Big Finish, which isn't a bad thing, but they're still trying to push this narrative. Oh no, we're gonna wait till War Between the Land and the Sea airs to tell you whether they're getting another series or not. Folks, they knew the answer months ago. If they'd have had a yes, it'd come after the last thing. I've not really watched the new Alien series. I watched first episode and I think I pretty much lost interest in it. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Well, now we got cyborgs, androids, and blah blah blah, and I'm like, huh? Ugh. The Phoenix Lights in Arizona were obviously an unidentified craft of some type. We don't know from where, but it was definitely not ours. I just recently listened to a whole thing on the Phoenix Lights and a lot of the shit that went down around that. Um, oh, you mean aliens in real life? Like I said, it's if people want to honestly believe that we're the only planet in just this tiny corner of the galaxy that's developed life, and good on you. I'm not going to argue with you, but no, it's not. There's no way we were the only civilization to crawl up out of the muck and do crazy shit. Somewhere is another world, some different type of life. Bang the rocks together a long time before our ancestors did, and figured out okay, stuff goes on. Plus, so like I said, I fully believe there are beings out there from other worlds. It's not an impossibility. I don't know why they were grilling. Well, actually, I do know why they were grilling it into people's heads for years that if you believed in extraterrestrial life, you were a kook, you were a nut, you were a psycho, or you were just plain out there. And that was part of a great PR thing by our own press and what do you call it going on, the intelligence agencies and whatnot, because they wanted to keep this under wraps. Um, like I said, like when you go back and read the Roswell incident, there was no way in hell that was a Project Mogul balloon. If it had been a Project Mogul balloon, Jesse Marcel, the guy who quote unquote misidentified this, who by the way, like I said, they keep saying now they're making up all kinds of stories about him now, saying he wasn't this, he wasn't that. The guy was chief intelligence officer for the only bomb group in the United States that was carrying the atomic bomb. Yet he's incompetent that we didn't fill him in on a mogul balloon launch. And by the way, there are no records of any mogul balloon launch. But a balloon? What the hell's a balloon? I was out using the balloon the other day. There are no records of a Project Mogul balloon launch anywhere near Roswell because those records have been declassified. And it's like, well, I've read some of Nick Pope's stuff. I don't know, one book, like I said, it was kind of boring. But it was, like I said, I know who Nick Pope is. I've read some of his stuff. Yeah. Um, and it's amazing to me how other countries talk about these things. In the United States, if you talk about these things for the longest time, you're a nut. Just like, we've got God knows more evidence that Bigfoot exists than we do that says that Bigfoot doesn't exist. But if you talk about Bigfoot, you're a nut. It's like, guys, there's no way one old man from the early 20th century made thousands and thousands of tracks across the entire United States, not to mention other parts of the world, leaving compression lines, dermal ridges, and things like that in the print. Okay? Yeah, Deadly Assassin's a good one. Like I said, it's that one that Moffat does the face palm to and all that. A lot of other because that was when they made the mistake of introducing the 12 regeneration limit. And like I said, Rassilon came in over Omega and stuff like that. It was a big game changer. And up till that point, the Doctor was pretty much ageless. They did not have a limit or at all on regeneration and whatnot. That's why they were hinting at the Doctor being much, much older. Because I know they dropped the line with Troughton saying he was about 450. But it's like, yeah, then you had, Turchley later on saying he'd been a scientist for thousands, and he was about to say years, and then realized he's talking to someone who shouldn't know that. So there was, and also when you go to the Brain of Morbius, which aired not too long before that, I think it was the previous year, where I believe it was, heck, give me a minute, 76, I want to say, was Brain of Morbius, wasn't it? Something like that. And they showed past incarnations of the Doctor before Hartnell. But that's because the 12 limit wasn't established till later. So yeah, the Doctor was originally meant to be pretty much an ageless being anyway, which I died laughing when you had all the die cards. The timeless children have destroyed everything. No, that's not what happened. The timeless children restored something that was supposed to be the truth from the beginning. Oh, okay, Yeah, I wish. Oh God, I still wish I could have seen the Doctor Experience just once, but sadly, it is long gone. It has faded off into the distance of history. They do still have that one up in. Sheesh, it's gonna hit me in a minute. They still have a Doctor Who exhibit up, but it's not the Doctor Who Experience. That was in Cardiff. I think they moved it to Cardiff Castle, wasn't it? It's tingling on the edge of my neurons, but okay, like I said, it's just a strange, strange world we live in. You can't know everything that's going on. You never will. There's more to be seen, can never be seen. More to do than can ever be done. And that was our Lion King moment for the day. I know. I'm every now and then you see videos. Plus, you got Doctor Who filming locations. Puts these up on X. Um, Plus, yeah, there's a lot of tours you can pick up that in the area that'll take you to various locations. And Microsoft, don't get me started on Microsoft, okay? They put that stupid ass Edge Chromium and all that dumb shit on the computer, and they've made it now so you can't delete it. You can't uninstall it without going to this big long process. And I'm not screwing around with it, because if you screw one thing up, you're going to probably screw up your operating system. And so the only way I can get it to close, because it's always running in the background, if I have to run CCleaner and force it closed. Otherwise, it's a damn memory hog. And that drives me insane, because I don't use Microsoft Edge for anything. I haven't used Microsoft Edge or whatever it's called this week, back when it was Internet Explorer. Yeah, more like Shitternet Explorer, because it never worked for shit. It also has more back doors in it than the local whorehouse. I'm like, it's just... I know, that's why I don't use it. I use Firefox, and I've been using uBlock, and uBlock still works on YouTube. Oops, I wasn't supposed to say that. There goes my channel. It does have its little, glitches, but for 99% of the time, I'm still watching, and I'm watching without ads, which really, I know, ticks somebody off up there. Yeah, I tend to use other search engines as well, because the problem with Google and all that is they tend to only go with certain sites, like I said, for things. And it's like, there's things I like to look up here and there. It's like that, I'm not kidding. Google's very, very like particular now about shit you can search on it. And it's like, I'm not like I'm going out looking for anything, illicit or anything. It's just sometimes there's information I want to get, and well, it only shows me the same sites that I've already been on, and I'm like, so I've used a few other things, like other than Google for. Oh God, I said something else. There goes my channel. No, you don't use Google, the provider of your minimum income. Like I said, I don't use this channel to make money. Like I said, I know that's another thing. Thank you for reminding me, Mark. That Robert Redford passed away at the age of 89. And there's a guy that was hell of an actor, and he was just about every damn where. All I know is I hope today at work turns out to be like yesterday. We had some stuff going on. I ended up having more ass time than the Lincoln Memorial. But they probably fixed everything by now, so... But like I said, we have no real Doctor Who news, and I'm not going to sit here and retread stuff we've all already watched just so I can fill airtime. Sadly, that's what a lot of these channels do now. They were counting on that new product being there every year. Me, it's like I'm sitting here going, well, you've been making a big chunk of income off Doctor Who, hadn't you? You better hope, Big Finish and all that keep going for years to come, because, I knew in my heart, sooner or later, the show's going to go by the wayside. So that's why I was like, look, my primary income I get with my own hands and, my own, sweat. I don't need YouTube to make money. So, it's about that time for me to head on in and begin the 9-hour brain drain. So everybody, please be kind, be calm, be safe. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll catch you all tomorrow morning. Take care. Have a good one, everyone.